Hello everyone, this is Endgame Art with another unboxing of the offline product game review. This is Smelter for the PlayStation 4, but being played and tested on my PlayStation 5. To jump right into it, this physical copy here comes with the update version 1.08 run on disc, and at the time of making this video, there were no updates available, which is extremely nice to see, and as well, I was still unlocking trophies with my unregistered account, not even platinum the game. So it was very nice to see the most complete updated version of this game physically on disc, which is extremely nice to see and wish more games were like this. Now this game, it had my attention because it kind of blended both a 2D kind of Metroidvania-esque kind of gameplay as well as a strategy kind of style game of an RTS. When I saw those two elements, I was very intrigued, and when I was playing it, it definitely took a massive inspiration of a game that came out on the Super Nintendo called Arc Rising, which kind of blended a 2D kind of gameplay as well as a strategy top-down RTS. But going into the game, you play as into the universe of like Adam and Eve, where you play as Eve, where Adam ate the forbidden fruit apple, and then you play as Eve, and you meet a character called Smelter, who gives you a special power armor, which be able to help you find Adam and save the day. That's pretty much the straightforward the story. It plays like your typical main 2D kind of style Metroidvania, where you run left to right and then you try to find hidden rooms and try to find upgrades to your character, and as well as you do special trials to get special upgrades that goes into the RTS mode. Now, if you're someone who's not a fan of the RTS mode, they do have a mode called Action, which completely eliminates the RTS aspect. You just want to straightly just play the 2D Metroidvania style, which was kind of nice. And then you can, if you beat the game, you unlock Boss Rush mode. So it is nice that they do provide the mode where you can avoid RTS or real-time strategy aspects of the game if you're not interested in that. I've always loved strategy games. I love RTSs, turn-based games, and stuff like that. But I also love Metroidvania, so I get to see these two kind of idea genres put together is definitely right up my ballpark. Now, though I did 100% complete the game, and like I said, I platinum game, the game wasn't flawless. There was some minor problems. The biggest one, which I did do some tests on it, in the options, if you go into the video setting where you can change the game's brightness and colorblind settings and stuff like that, if you are mess with it and you can't remember what the default setup, please keep in mind, if you hold down that button to reset the default video quality, the game will crash every single time, as well as corrupt your save data. Now, this corrupt save data does not affect your progress save data. I did test this, but keep that in mind. If you hold down the default reset, so that way you can reset it back to the preset settings before you messed with it, it will crash your game and corrupt that save file every single time. But this only works in the video settings. It doesn't happen in any other setting. That is a pretty big one. I wasn't sure how I should view that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not going to probably have that happen. Like 99.9% of people are not going to hold down the default setup for two settings in the video, but it will happen. I'm sure they didn't do a lot of testing before they released it. I can see a lot of people overlooking that. One other stuff, after this is just going to be strictly my opinions of the game. The controls in terms of the 2D aspect, Metroidvania aspect, is a bit stiff. It doesn't feel as smooth as some other games you're maybe a little bit more comfortable with. So I can see a lot of people getting a little irritated that the Eve does not control as smooth as you would expect her to. It's not like a game-breaking or fresh, unplayable state, but I did notice it a few times, like when I'm trying to grab a hold of something, she doesn't feel as fluid, and sometimes if she doesn't fully grabs it, she won't grab it, and then you get irritated because you fall off the edge or fall off the cliff. Next one is that I do have a little bit of a problem with the character's power armor in this game. Not in terms of how it's designed or anything like that. I'm more talking about its color palette. There's 3 skill abilities you unlock that changes the color of the armor. Think of something along Mega Man, where you get like a lightning and then you get like a rock and so on and so forth. The color palette doesn't really change. It's got like a slightly of a bit of a brown, slightly bit of a blue, and slightly bit of a darker blue. I think they could have done a little bit better job at this, because someone who maybe is colorblind or has issues of seeing specific colors, even though the game does have colorblind settings, I don't think they could have, that was a good design point to have these colors so close to each other. It was a few times where even I had to take a second and look at it. I was like, which one is this one? I don't know why they didn't just simply go with like a blue, red, and like green or whatever. I just think that was a little, that was the, how do you say, interesting design points they went with. Now, on the aspects about her outfit, while I am a man who does enjoy seeing my girls in some skimpy outfits and stuff like that, I fail to see what it really is being provided in her armor being just so revealing in the front. And yeah, sure, I do love an underboob as much as the next straight guy. I mean, how the character's design was like, I'm supposed to take this character seriously as a warrior or anything like that. Just seeing this outfit, that really made not much sense. I'm not sitting here saying they should censor it. I just sometimes say that sometimes revealing too much can ruin the imagination. Sometimes having some neat armor or anything like that that covers it up can leave a lot to the imagination, which can make a character seem more sexy and just more appealing in that area. I did like how Adam and Eve both are basically wearing nothing. That was kind of cool. I did like that. But I mean, I just don't see the overall design aspect of having such revealing armor for very little reason. I know some people are going to take that the wrong way and think I'm wanting censorship. I'm just more saying that I think she could have looked more attractive and more better full set of armor, something along the lines of Mega Man or something like that. My personal opinion. I mean, if the developer really wanted to make really revealing armor with an underboob, that's their right to make that, and I won't say anything more about it. Moving on, there is a bit of a spike in difficulties at certain moments. One boss could be extremely challenging and have some very interesting random boss wave moments, and then other bosses can be just beaten in one attempt or just basically shot at a distance with little to no difficulty. So there's definitely some spike in difficulties in certain situations and certain bosses that were very unexpected. Next, I did have a minor bug where the game kept saying I need more houses, where basically when you're building your RTS and you're building houses for your units to be able to live in, so that way you can give them jobs in terms of what they're going to do. If you start building too many houses and then certain jobs in certain areas, eventually the game will pop up saying you need more houses or not enough houses. But thankfully, it can be removed once you go into a level and play the 2D mode. It will get rid of that bug because it realized, hey, you do actually have plenty of houses. So just keep that in mind. If it keeps telling you, hey, they need more houses, maybe jump into a 2D level real quick and then jump out and see if that's actually true. And one extra thing I wish they would have told me ahead of time, a little bit later, was that if you build up your army up to 70, this will increase the main character, the character Eve you play as, max health by 20%. So every 70 army people you have, it increases up 20%. They don't tell you this until actually you get to 70% or 70 army people. So I was a little disappointed they took that long, because I would have bit more prepared myself and built things a little bit more structurally different if I knew that I needed 70 every single time to increase my health by 20%. As well as that helpful little thing, if you're having some troubles trying to find any clues about where to find all the secrets and stuff like that, this isn't always going to apply, but always look for some like glow or something like that, like a hole where the sun's shining through or something like that. This will tell you that there might be a secret within that area. Sometimes they do have a hole that's glowing that has like the sun peering through it, and just for detail, but a lot of times there are some kind of like clue for you to find a hidden item or hidden passageway or something like that. So at the end of the day, this was rather enjoyable. It's not perfect by any means, and the controls could be used a little bit of work in here and there, and the RTS mode isn't the most in-depth or more challenging, and it's not like going to be like an RTS's or real-time strategy fans best mode ever, but it was interesting to see the inclusion of both of these modes put together, and they did do a pretty good job with an interesting tongue-in-cheek kind of style story that, I mean, for the most part was interesting, and I am definitely interested to see if there's a sequel at some point to the game. In my personal opinion, it's well worth a pickup. No updates, fully worked, other than, like I said, that corruption of save bug that crashes the game every single time you do a video reset to default settings. That's only the biggest one that I came across. Everything else of the game worked perfectly fine to beginning to end, and generally can recommend the game for your experience. So like always, I will try to leave links down in the description if you're instant copy, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye bye!